Good morning students. Today I am going to take chemistry. Let's look at the first chapter, Matter Around Us. In class 8, you have studied the introduction and classification of matter. Now in class 9, we will study in brief. Introduction. You know students, the term matter covers all substances and materials from which the universe is composed. Matter is everything around us. Air we breathe, food we eat, the pen we write, clouds, stones, plants, animals, a drop of water, everything is matter. Samples of any of these materials have two properties in common. They have mass and occupy space. The three types of matter is solid, liquid and gas. Weighing machine and bag is solid state. Air in balloon is gaseous state. Water in glass is liquid state.
Matter is classified into two categories as pure substances and impure substances or mixtures. A pure substance is made up of only one kind of particle. The two types of pure substance are elements and compounds. Elements. An element is made up of same kind of atoms. It cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Example, copper, oxygen, hydrogen. Compounds. A compound is a pure substance that is formed when the atoms of two or more elements combine chemically in definite proportions. Example, water, sugar, salt, etc. Impure substances or mixtures are classified into homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately is called a homogeneous mixture. It has a uniform composition. Example, sugar plus water and water plus alcohol. Heterogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components can be seen separately is called a heterogeneous mixture. It does not have a uniform composition. Example, sand plus sugar and water plus oil.
Now we can see about elements. Children, most of you may be interested in music and some of you may know how it is composed. Music is a combination of a few musical notes, sarigama padanisa. Thus, the building blocks of music are the musical notes. Likewise, all substances on earth are made up of certain simple substances called elements. Plants, cats, apples, rocks, cars, and even our bodies contain elements. These elements are the building block of all materials.
In the modern periodic table, there are 118 elements known to us. 92 occurs naturally, 26 have been artificially created. From these 118 elements, billions of compounds are formed. Robert Boyle used the name element for any substance that cannot be broken down further into a simpler substance. For example, aluminium is an element which is made up of only aluminium atoms. It is not possible to obtain a simpler substance chemically and can only make more complicated substance from it, such as aluminium oxide, aluminium nitrate and aluminium sulfate. Elements can be classified into three types, namely metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metals. Metals are generally hard and shiny elements. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. Example, copper, chromium, gold and mercury. Non-metals. Non-metals are generally dull and soft. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Example, carbon, oxygen, neon and chlorine. Metalloids. Metalloids exhibit the properties of both metals and non-metals. Example, boron, silicon, germanium and arsenic. Atoms. The smallest unit of an element which may or may not have an independent existence but always takes part in a chemical reaction is called an atom. Atom is a tiny particle which cannot be seen with your eyes or even with your standard microscope. Water, rice and short, everything we see around us is made up of atoms. Molecule. The smallest unit of a pure substance which always exists independently and can retain physical and chemical properties of that substance is called a molecule. Example, in water, hydrogen molecule consists of 2 atoms of hydrogen, oxygen molecule consists of 1 atom of oxygen and forms H2O, which is the formula of water. Compound. When 2 or more elements combine chemically to form a new substance, the new substance is called a compound. Example, cane sugar. It is made up of 3 elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So the chemical formula of cane sugar is C12H22O11. The other example is sodium chloride. A compound has properties that are different from those of the elements from which it is made. That is, when sodium reacts with chlorine, it forms sodium chloride. That is, sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. These both are elements which combines to form a sodium chloride, which is nothing but a compound. Sodium chloride is also called as common salt. It is added to give taste to our food. It is a compound made up of metal, sodium, that reacts violently with water and a poisonous non-metal, chlorine, to form sodium chloride. Uses of compounds. Compounds of phosphorus, nitrogen and potassium are used in fertilizers. Silicon compounds are used in computer industry. Fluorine compounds are used in our toothpaste as they strengthen our teeth. Now we can see about the difference between element and compound. Element. It is made up of only one kind of atom. Example, hydrogen, helium, lithium. Compound. Compound is made up of more than one kind of atom. Example, water, sodium chloride. Element is the smallest particle that retains all its properties of the atom. Compound is the smallest particle that retains all its properties of the molecule. Element cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Compound can be broken down into elements by chemical methods. Mixtures. A mixture is an impure substance. It contains 2 or more kinds of elements or compounds or both physically mixed together in any ratio. Example, tap water. It is a mixture of water and some dissolved salts. Lemonade is a mixture of lemon juice, sugar and water. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and other gases. Soil is a mixture of clay, sand and various salts. LPG, which is nothing but liquefied petroleum gas, is a mixture of butane and propane gas. Blood is a mixture of various components such as platelets, red and white blood corpuscles and plasma. Now we can see the chemical reaction of iron and sulfur with iron sulfide. Iron and sulfur is an element which mixes together when heating. Iron sulfide is formed. That is Fe plus S. It will be giving when it is heated ferrous sulfide. That is, it can be called as iron sulfide is formed. Now we can see the difference between mixture and compound. Mixture contains 2 or more substances. Compound is a single substance. The constituent of mixture may be present in any proportion. The constituents of compound are present in definite proportions. They show the properties of their constituent. They do not show the properties of the constituent elements. The components may be separated easily by physical methods. The constituents can only be separated by one or more chemical reactions. Most of the substance that we use in our daily life are mixtures. Now we can see about types of mixtures. Mixtures is classified into homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately is called a homogeneous mixture. It has a uniform composition and every part of the mixture has the same properties. Example, tap water, milk, air, ice cream, sugar syrup, ink, steel, bronze and salt solution. This homogeneous mixture
is classified into true solutions and alloys. True solution. A true solution is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. The size of the solute particles are less than 10 to 8 centimeter. Alloys. An alloy is a substance made by melting two or more elements together. At least one of them is metal. The component of alloy cannot be separated using a physical means. The heterogeneous mixture is classified into suspensions and colloids. Heterogeneous mixture. A mixture in which the components can be seen separately is called a heterogeneous mixture. It does not have a uniform composition and properties. Example, soil, a mixture of iodine and common salt, mixture of sugar and sand, a mixture of oil and water, a mixture of sulfur and iron fillings. Now we can see about this suspension. Suspension. Particles of solute do not dissolve in solvent, rather they remain suspended in bulk throughout. The size of particles of suspension is large enough to be visible from naked eyes. Colloid. A mixture in which very small particles of one substance are distributed evenly throughout another substance. Example, paint, milk and fog are colloids. Now we can see the question answers from this lesson, matter around us. Define element with example. It is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substance by chemical means. Example, hydrogen, helium. What is a compound? A compound is a pure substance that is formed when the atoms of two or more elements combine chemically in definite proportions. Example, water, sodium chloride. What is an atom? The smallest unit of an element which may or may not have an independent existence but always takes part in a chemical reaction is called atom. It is a very tiny particle. What is a molecule? The smallest unit of a pure substance which always exists independently and can retain physical and chemical properties of that substance is called a molecule. What is homogeneous mixture? Give example. A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately is called a homogeneous mixture. Example, tap water, milk, air, salt. What is heterogeneous mixture? Give example. A mixture in which the components can be seen separately is called a heterogeneous mixture. Example, soil, a mixture of sugar and sand, a mixture of oil and water. Name the components in each of the following mixtures. A. Ice cream, B. Lemonade, C. Air, D. Soil. A. Ice cream. It is a mixture of ice crystals, air, fat globules, sugar and flavoring agents. Lemonade. It is a mixture of lemon juice, sugar and water. Air. It is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and other gases. Soil. It is a mixture of clay, sand and various salts. Write the difference between elements and compounds. Elements. Made up of only one kind of atom. Compounds. Made up of more than one kind of atom. Cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Can be broken down into elements by chemical methods. Write the difference between mixture and compounds. Mixture. It contains two or more substances. Compound. It is a single substance. The components may be separated easily by physical methods. The components can only be separated by one or more chemical reaction. Okay children, that's all for this week chemistry class. We will meet again with a new topic. Till then, bye children. Take care.